shit, I swear. And they know it, they know it, they know it. Niggas ain't shit, I swear. And they know it, they know it, they know it.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. OMG, I love my earrings. Has nothing to do with the video, has nothing to do with my face. Well, my face is beat and my earrings are popping. But today's video is basically, I'm gonna tell you guys my experience in the hospital. Yeah, the 21st of December, I ended up in the hospital because my baby was basically coming, in other words. So what happened is that in the day, the 21st was a Friday, so the Tuesday before that I was really stressed out. I'm not gonna lie, I was stressed out, I was upset, I was crying. Pregnancy hormones, I was crying, but it just stressed out, honestly. And it's not like it's the first time that I've felt some type of way or I'm just overthinking stuff and I'm just crying. But this time I just really cried a whole lot and I just felt like, I'm not ready to have a baby. Not meaning that I'm not ready to, welcome my daughter. I'm just thinking about the labor pains. I'm thinking about, oh my gosh, I have to push out a whole child. I can't do this. But just, no, there's no way that I can do this. And I was just crying and I was trying to talk to my friends so that, I could talk to them and feel better, but it was just not working. At one point, I had persons calling me because I was talking about my friends and my coworkers. They were calling me and I was just not picking up. I was just looking at the phone ring and I was just crying. And I was supposed to go to work and I just decided, you know what? I'm not going to work. I don't have any sick days, which means that if I don't go to work, I don't get paid. So I just decided, you know what? No, I'm just not going to work. And I'm not going to go into details, but just say I said a whole lot of bad stuff to the persons that were trying to calm me down. I was like, you know what? I just can't do this. So in the end, I stopped crying. I eventually went to work. They didn't allow me to work that day because they knew what was going on. I was talking to some of them, and me and my coworkers are really close. So, we talked about it, and they decided that I wouldn't be working that day. I would still get paid, but I just wouldn't be working. So I was basically allowed to stay at work and do nothing, which I really needed because I don't know. To be honest, for the last part of the second trimester, and I'm just entering the third trimester, I've been, my emotions have been all over the place. I know they're all over the place from you get pregnant, but honestly, the last part of the second trimester and the first part of the third trimester, which I'm in now, I've just become lonesome. Like, I just want to spend time with myself. I don't really want to talk to anybody. I'm just sad all the time, which is why I don't post a lot of videos. I don't do Instagram tutorials as much. I don't take pictures. I do not do my makeup. So today is the first in a very, very long time. So, I've just been very isolated. So anyways, Tuesday, I spaz out, stress out, cry until I felt better. Came home Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday are my day off. So on Wednesday, I just stayed in bed. I ate. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make videos. I didn't do anything. Thursday the same. Oh, I'm gonna make videos. I didn't do anything. I just stayed in bed, and Friday I went back to work. Now the shift that I'm on right now is 3 to midnight, so it's 3 to 12. About like 2:30, I was in a taxi, and to be honest, the taxi was very uncomfortable because the persons beside me, them just spread out in the taxi. I'm not even gonna lie, them just spread out in the taxi. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't hurry up and reach, I can hurry up and reach. So I'll reach my destination. I asked the taxi to stop. He didn't hear me, and I asked him again, And then he's going to say, why didn't I say it before? I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is not serious. But anyways, he stopped where he stopped because he didn't stop in time. He didn't stop where I wanted him to stop. So by the time that I was supposed to open the car door, I was basically in traffic, and I at that point I was feeling cramps. But with being pregnant, you feel cramps. I'm going to tell you that. You feel a whole lot of cramps. It's not like menstrual cramps, it's a little bit more, but my baby's kicking. I'm feeling the cramps. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then, like, 2 or 3 weeks before, I was feeling the same cramps. And what happened that time is that I was in one of my friend's vehicles and I was at the front seat, but the seat is really, really high. And when it was time for me to come out, I couldn't move. Like, I was so cramped, I couldn't move. But it was just funny to me because I was like, oh my gosh, is this pain real? Is this really happening? And I really couldn't come out. He had to come around and take me out, literally lift me up bridal style. And then when I came out, I was standing, I felt better. So I just thought that this is what's gonna happen. Okay, so in the taxi, I was already upset because this man na drop me which part me go. So I came out of the taxi in traffic. I'm feeling the cramps, and I'm not lying. I could barely get out of the car. And then remember, I'm coming out of the car and I'm coming into traffic. So it was kind of like, wow, between a rock and a hard place. But anyways, I forced my energy. I step out of the car. If the persons in the car were paying attention, they would see that I'm in pain. But I was just ignoring it. And where I stopped, it was like 5 or 3 minutes from work, 5 or 3 minutes walk. So I began walking. And let me tell you, say, I felt the worst kind of cramps. It was the same kind of cramps from the week before, but it was just so painful. And I have to get to work. I don't want to get to work late. And I'm weak. Even though that I'm speaking, I'm kind of weak. But I'm weak and but just I try make it to work. Honestly, I'm just trying to make it to work, but I'm walking so slow. I'm hoping that nobody around me is like noticing that hey, something wrong, cause I don't really want that kind of attention. Anyways, I made it to work, and that day we weren't working. That day we actually had training because we were training for something else at work. So, I reached in time, did what I'm supposed to do, and we got to the training room. So my coworkers, well, my really close coworkers, they were like, "Oh my gosh, you're so extra. When you get to 9 months pregnant, we don't want to see you." That sort of stuff because of how I was walking, because I was in so much pain. But for me, it was just cramps. The week before, not the week before. Like the last time I was feeling the cramps, which was like 2 or 3 weeks before then, not never really happened. It was just cramps. So I was like, okay. And then remember, this is 2:30. At 2:30, that's when I started feeling the cramps. We had lunch around. Well, even before we get to lunch, break. We took a quick break, like around 6 o'clock, and then 8. Was it 8? Call it 8:30. We took lunch. No, before we get to lunch, when we took break, I could not take the stairs. Like I was looking at the stairs and I couldn't do it. I couldn't go up the stairs. I couldn't go down the stairs because the pain was getting so much, and I was weak. And I was like, no, this pain is something else. I need to go to the sick bay. So I went to the sick bay where we have a doctor and a nurse. The doctor just pack up our bag and close the place. So I was, man, I was just wrong time. But I told her what's happening. She said I need to see a gynecologist. I was like, okay. And then she left. So we went back into training, and then we took the lunch around 8:30. At 8:30, I was like, no. At this point, I wasn't taking the stairs, just the elevator. I was like, no, this pain is something else. Like, I know you're supposed to feel pain when you're pregnant, but mm-mm. And I was telling one of my coworkers, I was like, I feel like my baby is going to come before the 9 months. the kind of pain that I'm feeling and the way she's kicking and going on, I feel like she's going to come before 9 months. She was like, you don't want your baby come before 9 months, because I know somebody that had a child at, was it 7 or 8 months, and they had, was it hearing developmental problems or something like that. But I was like, I know that it's not, the best, or it's not safe or whatever, but I just feel it. I just feel like she's going to come before the 9 months. Anyways, lunchtime, we were supposed to go back inside, which was like 9:30, because we took lunch 8:30. 9:30 we were supposed to go back inside. I was like, no, this pain, I know you guys see I'm extra and whatever, and they, even the way that I was walking, they were laughing, and I was laughing too, because they're my friends, and I really didn't think it was serious, but me know say something just off about the pain. Anyways, so I used the bathroom to go back to training after lunch. So I was using the bathroom, using the last few minutes of my lunchtime to go back to training. So basically, I used the bathroom, and what happened is that I saw blood. So I was like, no, nope, nope. This isn't normal. Something is wrong. Am I having a miscarriage? Something is wrong. And in my head just, everything that you can think that is ugly. At that point, my body felt so cold, because I'm like, oh my gosh, if I lose my daughter, like, me not care. I can lose family, I can lose friends. I don't care if I have to do this alone. God, please do not allow me to lose my child. Not after 6 months, please. So I rushed outside, and I wrote on my phone, and I showed one of my coworkers. I'm like, I'm bleeding. And what did he say? I don't remember what he said, but he wasn't like shocked or anything, because spotting is normal when you're pregnant, as long as it's not like a heavy bleeding. And to be honest, I wasn't bleeding heavily, but just blood when you're pregnant, it's still not safe. Anyways, so he was standing there with a friend, and the friend was like, I can move if you want to. And I'm like, no, you don't have to move. And then the friend that was standing there, I told him, because he's my friend as well. So I was like, it's just that I went to the bathroom and I saw blood. And he's like, yeah, you're pregnant, spotting is normal. I'm like, no, the pain, I know cramps is normal and spotting is normal, but I just don't feel, I don't have a good gut feeling about this. So I went to my manager. I'm like, did you drive today, because I want to go to the hospital? No, I was like, did you drive today? He said no. He said, why? So I'm like, I want to go to the hospital, um because I'm hemorrhaging, because I never have no shame. This is my baby. Me no care at this point. Like, anything can happen, but just please, God, don't let nothing happen to my baby. Anyways, I told him I'm hemorrhaging. He's like, so what you want to do? I said, I want somebody to take me to the hospital. And I ran to the roof. I gave my baby's grandmother a call, which is my baby father's mother. I gave her a call. I'm like, I'm bleeding. She's like, what are you going to do? I said, I'm trying to get somebody to take me to the hospital, because she's like, I'm far away. I don't have my car, and it would have just been hard for her to leave from where she is to take me to the hospital, because she's a very nice person. So I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to try to get somebody to take me to the hospital. She said, all right, keep me updated. So my manager, who said he didn't drive, he said, all right, I'll take you to the hospital. So he took me to the hospital. In my head, I knew I had to do an emergency ultrasound, because we need to see what's happening. Why am I bleeding? Why am I feel so much pain? Anyways, so I grabbed my health card, and I grabbed whatever money was in my purse, and we went to the hospital. When I'm at the hospital now, I was like, sir, I need to do an emergency ultrasound. Do I need a doctor's referral? They said, yes, it's law that you need a doctor's referral. So before I could do the ultrasound, I have to see a doctor. So this was at the private hospital, by the way, because I went to both private and public. That's a whole different story. We'll get to that. Anyways, so I said, sir, at this point, I don't care. You can use my health card, you can use my money. I don't care. I just need some help, because I'm weak. I'm 6 months pregnant. I am weak right now. I'm hemorrhaging. And in the next 5 seconds or so, I feel like I'm going to faint. And there were some guys that were standing there, and one of them was like, do you need help to sit, or I was like, no, I'm fine. I just need to get this over with. So they said, all right, we're gonna call the doctor. They called the doctor, and she took a while to come, but they allowed me to sit, and everybody was super nice. Not gonna lie, everybody was super nice there so far. And then the doctor came. Well, first there was this nurse. There were two nurses, and I repeated what's going on. I'm like, okay, so I'm 6 months pregnant. I went to the bathroom. I saw some blood, and I just freaked out. She's like, okay, are you wearing anything? When she says wearing anything, she meant like a sanitary napkin. Like when you're on your period. She's like, are you wearing anything? I'm like, no. I just rushed here. I am not wearing anything. She's like, okay, go to the bathroom, and I'll bring you something. When I went to the bathroom and checked, there was nothing. Because before I went to the bathroom, I told her I'm not wearing anything right now, but in the next couple of minutes, I can tell you that my clothes is going to be soaked. Because, when you overthink things and you just feel like, hey, it's just happening heavily, it really was just one spot of blood. One spot of blood. But still, at the end of the story, you guys will understand why it's still important to, be careful. So I went to the bathroom. When she came, I was like, no, I don't need it because it stopped. So I went back into the doctor's office thingy, and like I'm still telling her what's going on, and then this other nurse comes in and they're chatting. She's like, oh, did you hear what the doctor did to this girl? And I'm like, I know that when you're in those sort of places, you want to have respect to the people that's treating you and taking care of you. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so weak. Woo! So you want to be respectful to them, right? But this girl was just pissing me off because, oh my gosh, I am bleeding. I don't know what's happening. I need to find out what's happening. Why are you chatting? Why are you laughing? I just rolled my eyes and she shut up. So I'm like, okay, yeah, you get the message. Anyways, when they started talking about me being pregnant, I said, yes, I'm 6 months pregnant. So the girl that I gave the eyes and and I allowed her to shut up. She's like, oh my gosh, you're 6 months pregnant. Where is the stomach? And then I was like, yeah, I'm 6 months pregnant. Yeah. I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just be nice to her because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are here to help me. I just don't appreciate the fact that I'm here dying and yeah, chat. But you know what? Yeah, I'm 6 months pregnant, whatever. She's like, oh, you said first? I'm like, yeah, it's my first, whatever. So they signed me up to my blood pressure, everything. Then the doctor came and spoke to me. Basically, she said, all right, get on the bed and remove your pants and your underwear. No, like normally I would have been like, oh my gosh, really? But this is my child we're talking about. And when you're pregnant, you kind of really don't have any privacy with your body. Let me just tell you, every doctor visit is going to be like an invasion of your privacy. So, anyways, I got on the bed, I took off the clothes, and she came and she did some inspection. And she put a couple probes up my private. And, like, I was in so much pain at this point. Like, even when she said to lay down on the bed, it took me like 5 or 6 minutes of not crying, but I'm not sure if it was just my anxiety, but I was shaking. I was super cold, and it was just so hard for me to move. It literally took me like 5 minutes to just lay flat on the bed. And she's like, calm down. I'm shaking. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this? Anyways, she did her thing. She used these probes and she stuck 2 fingers. And she said, all right, I'm going to get you some meds for the pain. And they basically, on this hand, they put a drip. So they accessed one of my veins, which was very painful. For a private hospital, they did it really sloppy. So anyways, they accessed one of my veins, and that one did work, so they had to access another vein because they didn't do it properly. So already me, I feel pain, and then people have mash up my hand with 2 long needle thingies pushing into my vein. And before she accessed my vein, she literally slapped my vein until it was swollen. So I'm already in a pain, and she had double the pain. Anyway, she told me to get back on the bed, and I was on the bed, and she left me for a while, and then she came back and she's like, you're you're in labor. You're going into labor. She said, you're going into labor. I'm like, no. She said, you're already in labor. I'm like, oh my gosh. What? What? I'm in labor? What? Like, it was just so shocking that, hey, I'm in labor. But at the same time, I was kind of happy because I was like, you know what? My maternity leave is going to start. All I have to do is have this baby. I was ready. I was ready to push. At this point, she said, listen, you're 2 centimeters dilated. So my baby jumping, if I jump too hard, the head come out. Literally. My child was literally in my hands, so to speak. So she's like, do you want to be admitted here or do you want to be admitted at the private hospital? I'm like, okay, get me at the private hospital. She said, listen, it's going to charge you X and X amount to take you to the hospital in an ambulance. Can you get somebody to take you there? So I called my co-workers until they picked up and they brought me there. And when I got there, I still had the drip in my hand. Baby 2 centimeter dilated, me in a pain. Like, it wasn't pain, I was screaming. It was just cramps, right? So I got there and then I was going to the maternity ward because when you pass 26 weeks or 25 weeks, they don't look at you anywhere else except maternity ward. So I went to the maternity ward. This lady's going to tell me that, hey, you have to go back to the accident and emergency part for them to register you. I went there, got registered, and then they sent me back to maternity in a wheelchair. So I told them what's going on. Same thing again, get on the bed, remove your underwear, remove your pants. This time they used some probes again because they read the note that the other doctor had sent, which said that I was in premature labor because my baby would have been premature because she's just 6 months. So they were, doing their measurements. They want to see, all right, is she past 2 centimeters? No, what can we do? This time they used, like, the first hospital used metal objects. This one used plastic objects. And instead of using 2 fingers, one of the nurse just came and she pushed her entire hand in my private. When I tell you that I felt like, bro, I felt like my body was being shaken or torn apart. I'm not lying. Like, she didn't even tell me that, hey, I'm gonna do this. She just did it. And it hurt. And there was no lubricant or anything. It hurt. But yeah, they measured and they found, yeah, I'm still 2 centimeters. What they did is they said, listen, we're gonna admit you. We have to admit you because you're pregnant and you're bleeding. I'm like, what? So if I had stayed at the private hospital, chances are they would have allowed me to have the child because that's what they were leaning towards. At the private, they're like, hey, there is this medication that we can give you to stop the contraction, stop the baby from coming, and there's also some injections we're going to give you just in case we can't stop it. We have to give you an injection for her lung development. Them never tell me say for me I forget, and they didn't tell me I have to get it in my butt, but I didn't. And this is my first time. I am 21 years old and I wasn't born at the hospital. I have never been sick, sick enough to be this is my first time I'm hearing that, hey, you have to be admitted. And when I tell you that, listen, so I was calling my family in the meantime. I called, like on the way to the hospital, I called my baby's grandmother again. I'm like, they're gonna admit me, this and this and this. I called my child's father, wasn't getting him. I called my sister. I'm like, you need to come. They're admitting me. I need clothes. I need this. I called my friend. I'm like, listen, can you call my child's father? I'm not getting through to him. And my battery's dying. Can you call him and tell him I'm in labor? She's like, what? You're in labor? I'm like, yes. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you. I'm scared, but I'm happy for you because, everything is going to be over. So eventually my child's father picked up and he was on his way and he came with my sister who was at a work party. I'm like, you need to leave. I'm about to have a baby right now. I'm in labor. Leave. At this point, the pain, honestly, before I left work, I told my friend that if this is labor pain and if this is what some people feel for 24 hours, I could do this for 24 hours because it's not that horrible. I mean, I don't want to be in labor for 24 hours, but it's not that horrible, to be honest. Little did I know I was actually in labor. Anyway, so when my family came and my child's father and they brought my clothes and whatever, they couldn't stay because it wasn't visiting hours, so they only allowed them to bring my sheets and pillows and like put stuff in the area that I would be staying. And then I was signed up. I had to sign that, hey, I agree that you guys can give me medication and whatever. And I was put in the hospital. I stayed in the hospital for a period of 5 days, and I was given another drip in this arm. So that means my veins were accessed 3 times, painful as hell. They treated me so good at the private hospital. The only thing I had that upsetted me at the private hospital was the fact that they were chatting when I'm in pain, and they're not taking any urgency like I would have wanted. But at the public hospital, everything was with urgency. I mean, the food was great. I heard a lot of people say hospital food is horrible, but the food is great. I was fed 3 meals a day, on time, and my friends came to visit, and the doctors were nice. Every day you had at least 4 or 5 doctors come and check you, your blood pressure, feel your baby's heartbeat, everything. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, you're pregnant, where's the stomach? But they treated me really nice, and by giving me the meds, they were able to stop the labor pains, they were able to stop the contractions. And that is how basically my daughter wasn't born, because a lot of persons are still messaging me, oh, can we see the baby? Are you still in the hospital? No, I am at home. I'm actually back to going to work. I'm actually working again. I was given, after I left the hospital, I was given 4 days more to rest. I was out for a total of 9 days. And, I'm working now. I still feel the cramps every now and then. My child's father think I need to walk in the mornings, but I don't think so. If I go anywhere that's too high, like a high bed or a high chair, that's when I'll feel the cramps. It's not as horrible as the labor pains, which weren't really that horrible anyways, but I do feel them. So yeah, that's basically my experience. It wasn't a horrible one. I know what to take in my hospital bag now. I know what exactly will happen. I know how they treat you. And as I said, in that situation, you just want to make sure that you're treating them with respect, because remember, it's like a whole lot of women, a whole lot of other patients there, and the nurses are definitely under stress. So you want to treat them with respect so that they can treat you with respect. Because by the time that I was leaving, I was getting hugs, I was getting kisses. The nurses and the doctors really loved me there because I was just really respectful to them. Because working in customer service, you know that, hey, you need somebody to treat you good so that you can treat them good too, because we're all humans at the end of the day. So it was really a great first experience. Not that a hospital experience is great, but it was something that, I'm still scared to go to the hospital. I don't want to go back, even though I have to go back to have the baby. I don't want to go back, but hopefully I won't for the stress thingy. I can't say I haven't cried since I've been home, because I have cried. But whenever I'm crying, I just try to stop, because I don't want to go back there where I'm in premature labor because of stress or anything like that. So yeah, that's basically it. I just wanted to share with you guys what my experience was like, and why I prefer the public hospital, sorry, over the private. It's just that I feel like they treat you with more urgency, and the public hospital free, and the private hospital is like, um how much was it? It it was 80,000 Jamaican dollars to admit me in the private hospital, my bad, and it was free in the public. And everything that you do at a private hospital, everything that you do every day that you spend, they're gonna hike up the price. So the public hospital was just really great, and I wish that I could like have written a thank you card for every person that I interacted with in regards to like doctors and nurses. Even the one that gave me the whole our hand, she was a really nice person. Apart from that, and I'm just really grateful that we were able to stop the labor pains in time. Even though I was ready, I was like, okay, let's do this. But at the end of the day, if she was born, then she'd probably, well, not probably, I could lose her because she's too young. Or if it is that she lives, then she would have to be in the hospital for probably the next 3 months, and I wouldn't be able to take her home. So I'm just really happy that God worked everything out for me, and my baby is still here. She's still baking in the oven. And I'm about to reach 7 months now, entering my third trimester. And hopefully I can just focus on her, and just anything that is negative, I can just, turn a blind eye to it. Bye.